Welcome back to Plants Not Plastic, and a happy early St. Patrick's Day. I'm Nikita, and today we're making a thick and hearty split pea soup. Split pea soup is one of the most classic soup recipes. For you history nerds out there, split pea soup has been eaten since antiquity and is mentioned in texts as far back as 400 BC. So, the classic of classics. The version I grew up eating always used a ham bone to develop its flavor though, and today I am very excited to be sharing a recipe that is vegan-friendly, whole food, plant-based, and oil-free without sacrificing on flavor. I also thought this would be a great recipe to share in advance of the St. Patty's Day holiday because it's so simple to make, it's delicious, and it's green. So here's everything you'll need to make this recipe. I'll also leave everything in the description box below, along with a link to the blog post with some crisp green photos and a printable recipe card. So you can make this recipe either by stovetop or by Instant Pot or pressure cooker. I'll explain both, but Instant Pot is way faster, so that's how I'm going to be making it today. Regardless of your method, we'll start with the veggie prep, which is really the only step for this recipe. So we'll slice up our carrots and celery, dice the onion, and mince the garlic before throwing them in a pot with everything else. Since this is such an easy recipe, I'll also quickly cover the best way I've found to dice an onion for those of you who may struggle with it. Cut off the end, leaving the root, set it on the flat side that you've just cut, and then cut it straight down the middle before pulling off the outer layers of skin. Then, set it on the flat side that you've created by cutting it in half and make thin vertical slices toward the root, letting your knife do the work for you. Then do a single cut down the center, hopefully doing a better job than I do here, and keep your fingers on the hand you're using to stabilize the onion safe and out of the way. And then finally dice it horizontally to get nice, evenly diced pieces. I also cut off whatever is left around the root to leave as little waste behind as possible. So into the pot goes all of your ingredients at once. The veggies, the dry split peas, bay leaf, basil, thyme, cumin, optional turmeric, and 6 cups of water or veggie broth. Mix everything together and that's it. We're ready to cook with no other prep needed. Now, if you're making this stovetop, you'll put all these ingredients in a large pot, bring it to a boil, and reduce it to a simmer to cook covered for an hour and a half to 2 hours until the split peas are at least somewhat broken apart and cooked through. Near the end, you can add extra water, I would say up to 2 cups, to get it to the texture that you prefer. For the fully hands-off Instant Pot or pressure cooker option, after we've combined all these ingredients and mixed them together, we're cooking on manual, high pressure for 15 minutes. It'll take about 7 minutes to get up to pressure, then the 15 minutes to cook, and then you'll want to let it sit for at least 15 minutes before releasing the pressure manually. Most of the time, I'm even lazier and will set this up to cook in the middle of the day and then let the pressure release completely on its own so that once I've exerted my efforts chopping, I don't have to touch the recipe again until I'm ready to eat it or store it. And while a watch pot may never boil, an Instant Pot will get up to pressure and run that timer down whether you're staring at it, have a camera fixated on it, or make yourself muffins and tea and watch YouTube videos in the other room. So that's literally it. Super simple, very little effort, and we're ready to serve it up. Season it with some salt and pepper and garnish it with some fresh parsley for a taste test after taking some photos for the thumbnail and blog. This soup is flavorful, creamy, rich, and filling. It's warm and comforting for the cold winter season and so easy to make that it's quickly become a regular meal in my kitchen. Stovetop will come out with more texture than the Instant Pot. The Instant Pot kind of obliterates and dissolves everything, but I honestly love the texture that way. If you want more texture though, you may be able to play with the cook time a bit and shorten it or pressure release right away, and that may leave you with some little bits of split peas still intact. I will also say that most of the time I just use water when I make this, but veggie broth does make a big difference, especially in the Instant Pot because you're not cooking it for as long, so it doesn't have as much time to develop its flavor. You could also take the extra step of sauteing your veggies to soften them a bit on the saute setting for the Instant Pot before continuing on with the instructions as they are. But again, the entire idea of this recipe is that it's so easy, you'd be hard pressed to find anyone to complain about making it, so I don't usually go through that extra effort. For how it stacks up against an alternative, you can check out the full nutrition label on the blog that links out to Chronometer. This recipe though is just like my others. When comparing it to a non-vegan or processed vegan option, it will very likely cost you less to make, have more fiber, and you get to eat more of it for the same number of calories. So that's it for today's recipe. If you try it out, let me know in the comments. You can also subscribe to my blog for recipes right to your inbox and connect with me on social media for day-to-day content. Also, if there is a recipe that you would like for me to make, let me know that as well, because I am always looking for new ideas. And this time, if you have made it to the end of the video and you are celebrating St. Patrick's Day, let me know what you're doing, how you celebrate, or how you might typically be celebrating if we were all able to see each other. And don't forget to subscribe, click the bell, give this video a thumbs up, and come back next time. Bye.